Hello and welcome to my AEW Dynamite review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight. Basically, the aftermath of Winter is Coming of last week, and a little bit of aftermath after the new AEW champion Kenny Omega and Don Callis were on Impact Wrestling last night. Okay, so it's a lot going on in this show, which I'm sure people are going to be wondering what type of will there be some cross promotional thing going on? I'm not really sure. Well, the ratings go up tonight, bringing Impact fans in AEW. Like I said last night, let's see what happens. We did kick it off, though, with the Young Bucks versus the Hybrid 2. The Young Bucks were being interviewed in the back about Kenny, basically saying they didn't really know what was going on and whatnot. So they just kind of questioned, what happened, but they just kind of basically said they would, I guess, deal with that another time, so they didn't really know what was going on. I really had no clue with Kenny Omega, or they haven't really talked to him. But like I said, this whole match between the Young Bucks and Hybrid 2, apparently my friend told me it was a title match, but apparently it wasn't a title match. I'm saying this was a title match. I didn't really know in that, but it was not a title match. I know Hybrid 2 kind of had like the jobbers entrance, so they were already kind of out there before the Bucks came out. Listen, this match was basically a spot fest, if you ask me, and a couple botchy moves here and there too. Given that both of these two teams are mostly known for high spots and whatnot, yeah, I kind of expected this to be a high spot out here. Yes, it was an opener and hot and everything, and the crowd was for it, but this match was basically a spot fest, okay? Does anybody really look at the Hybrid 2 as a threat for the tag team champions right now? Not really, and like I said, they end up winning. They got to do the whole, Meltzer driver thing to the outside of the floor and do the bang for your buck, and the whole, what do they call it? Not golden trigger, but BTE trigger and whatnot for the end, but right after the Claimed, basically those guys that tried to rap last week, had jumped the guardrail, but SCU came out to cut them off then. So not a bad tag match, but it was basically a spot fest to kick off the show. But like I said before, who really is looking at the Hybrid 2 as some type of a threat right now? Think about that. MJF was cutting a promo, basically talking about a bunch of smart marks, or upset a bunch of smart marks when he smashes Orange Cassidy's head tonight with the diamond ring. Darby Allin, which I actually like this promo here, he was sitting in a room, black and white, with someone holding up ink blots. One had not Darby Allin, but Ricky Starks, and he called him like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Powerhouse Hobbs, a snake in the grass. Taz, a puppet, and Cage, we call him Muscle Man, but I guess he's going to be getting a title shot for the TNT Championship. And then there was one with Sting's face paint, which he kind of looked and he kind of smiled in a way. So, foreshadowing, I should say, foreshadowing. Cody Rhodes came out then with Arn Anderson. Tony Schiavone was in the arena interview him, asking what do you think about the whole reaction with Sting last week? But before Cody had said anything, Sting came out, which I will say the snow was a nice aesthetic with him, with the whole winter thing and whatnot. Well, it's already winter, I should say, but it's a nice aesthetic. Sting always has a great entrance, okay? Anywhere he goes, he always has a great entrance. But Arn Anderson had walked up to Sting and, listen, there's no love lost between us. And people were chanting for Sting, and he said, you had to get a little bit closer to make sure this was real. And then he knew Sting had an agenda, and he's going to just step aside for right now. But Sting got on the microphone then. This was the big thing. What was Sting going to say on AEW? And he says, Tony, are you kidding me? And, he got a big hug from him and whatnot. And listen, throughout his career, and that Tony Schiavone's helped it. How many times have you yelled, it's Sting? So you got to do it once more. And, Tony Schiavone went, it's Sting! Like, I can't do it well like Schiavone, but it's Sting! It's always good when he says it, though. And, Sting was pumped up. And he says, this is awesome, chant. He hugged him again. But then Cody went on and says, we welcome back Sting in the wrestling. And, he's waiting a long time to get into the ring with him. But Sting told Cody, I'm not here for you, Cody. Not yet. But, something really familiar about this place. And he looked into the stands, kind of like what Sting does, somewhere in the rafters, where Darby Allin is sitting, holding the TNT title, watching on. Sting talked about being back on TNT. He hasn't been on here since 2001 when WCW went out of business. And, Cody said, welcome back. But Sting, told Cody that he knows everything that happens in AEW. And the only thing that about Sting is that nothing is for sure. Except he has officially signed with AEW, which there's already reports about him coming to wrestle again, so we'll see what happens there. And he plans, being close to the AEW wrestling fans and for this promotion for a long time. Fans chanting "Welcome home," and Sting, the way he chooses and plays his business. He basically slapped Cody in the back, put his arm around him, told him, like, see you around, kid, so before he left. I will say this, could this be foreshadowing to a Sting versus, well, come on, Cody's going against everybody right now. He's got to fight Shaquille O'Neal soon also. But could it be a Sting and Cody match at one point? I'm not really sure, but we shall see. Sting, gun the mic, I did like the little Shivani thing, so just some foreshadowing, I say, between him and Cody and whatnot. Where is this going to lead to? I'm not really sure, but they're not going to give away everything, but it's still a good promo by Sting. Taz was in the back with his... Team Taz, even his son also. Basically, I guess now they're training this Taz's son now. And, talk about Tony Khan signing Sting and getting saved by the Golden Boys right there and whatnot. And, they're ready to beat somebody's ass. Next, FTR went against the Varsity Blondes of Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. Basically like the Hollywood Blondes between, Pillman's dad, Brian, just the original Brian Pillman, and Steve Austin. I'm not going to say Stone Cold, but he was Steve Austin, or Stunning Steve Austin at the time. So, like the Hollywood Blondes back then. And this was not a bad match. Now, apparently, I heard they've been getting wins on Dark and looking good on there, so... That's good. So this tag team match, this wasn't a bad match, okay? I actually enjoyed this between FTR and the Varsity Blondes, okay? It was pretty good. They ended up hitting the Shatter Machine on the Pillman for the win. I said this, and I guess it's not going to happen now. I know Davey Boy Smith Jr. Is a free agent now. It'd be cool if him and Pillman, could reform the new Hart Foundation again. I would have liked that they got what's name, but since Teddy Hart is a fucking psychopath right now, which, come on, Teddy Hart's been like that for years, so you cannot really trust this dude. It would have looked cool if they did have the new Hart Foundation, but like I said, Teddy just... dude's crazy. What can I say? You don't never know what that guy's capable of. They cannot trust him, okay? But right after, FTR, I guess, was yelling at the, the Lucha Express, or what the Dinosaur Express, what did they call it again? Was it the Lucha Express or something? I don't even remember their name. Jungle Express. Why I said the Lucha Express? Jungle Express. I just know the midget there tried to jump the guardrail, which that looked really stupid. Hangman Page, I guess, was in the bar. He was getting interviewed. And, talk about the 6-man tag next week. And, if he had any partners, the Dark Order were trying to come in with a t-shirt, trying to sell him something. But Hangman says, no, I'm not joining, okay? Dustin Rhodes went against 10, which Dustin Rhodes won by a bulldog of all things. I thought that was pretty funny for some reason. He won by a bulldog. But then, Uno there, which these people desperately need Brody Lee back, I should say. This gimmick's already bad, but they kind of need him. And, talked about Hangman again. Well, not Hangman, but they talk about Dustin, like, you're the third most important robes. You could join us. You could be 7. So instead of being number 1 or being number 10, you're only in somewhere in the middle. You're 7, okay? And Dustin put it out his hand and then ended up, slapping him with it. The other Dark Order members came in and, he says, when you see the light and understand what I understand, you'll come begging for us. As Evil Uno left in. Tony Schiavone had an interview between Brandi Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal, who appeared also. Brandi's arm was in a sling. Brandi was basically pissed with this big introduction for Shaquille O'Neal, and that she only got called the chief branding officer or whatnot, or chief brand officer. Shaquille O'Neal, though, him and Jay Cargill go back, and he wants to see her do good things, but he didn't care for what he did to Brandi and whatnot. Brandi said she would get in her face if she tries it again, and she hoped Shaq would stop it before someone gets hurt. And Shaquille O'Neal said, you know, he would like to see that if they could sell this on Dynamite. And, you know, he just messing around with Cody on the internet and whatnot. And he's a fan and everything. And Shaq said, you know, wants to see Brandi face Jade would be good. And basically, as they shook hands and whatnot, basically Brandi got mad when Shaq basically said, no, you need to go watch out some pointers and get her from Jade when your arm gets back to normal. Brandi was pissed in, and then she ended up throwing a drink. Well, Tony Schiavone's drink, just like a glass of water, and called him an overgrown asshole. Okay, what is this? Obviously, I don't think that Shaq versus Cody thing is anything happening. Then again, I don't even want to see a Brandi versus Jade Cargill match. Brandi reminds me of Discount Stephanie McMahon for some reason. And I guess isn't Brandi supposed to be the face, but Shaq looked like he came more of a face than Brandi did herself, if you ask me, as she's just getting pissed and didn't like the introduction he got, which he didn't really do nothing but just sit there, but she came off more as a heel than she did a face, so it made Shaq look like the face here for some reason. It really did. The Inner Circle out there for another summit. Don't know where Santana is, though, and they haven't even mentioned Santana. But Jericho, talk about, you know, they could be the strongest faction in wrestling. They could split. MJF, you know, talk about he wanted to find the most powerful group. But Sammy Guevara said, shut up and everything. I saw you bring that towel out for that match last week. And, you know, I know what you're doing. Ortiz, you know, said that both MJF and Wardlow are great assets, but not as human beings. And basically, Wardlow is great, but MJF is growing on him like a fungus and whatnot. And told Guevara that, he guess I didn't choose to do this, but in life, you don't get to choose the hand you're dealt with. Ortiz basically said you can be the better man by shaking his hand. You better and you know it. But Sammy said he would shake his hand and say he trusts Chris Jericho. And basically told MJF and Jericho if one more thing happens with MJF, he would quit the Inner Circle, which they shook hands then. Jericho basically said, we're on the same page now, everything's cool. But Jake Hager got in on the mic and says, told Wardlow, well, I'm tired of him staring at me. He keeps looking at me. And Wardlow says, well, you've been staring at me ever since I got to AEW, okay? You've been staring at me, you're looking at me, I'm staring at who? Who's staring at what? Everybody's staring in some reason. And just kind of random that they started arguing then. But Jericho basically, let's just do this together. We could be the powerful group. And they either put their middle fingers in. Basically, they're all cool for right now, and it's temporary truce. Like I said before, they never mentioned whatever happened to Santana. He just kind of disappeared, and no mention of him. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but I'm just kind of odd, like, anybody know what Santana had? Or anybody going to mention? Is he good? Or, hopefully the guy's okay and he's not sick or anything, but kind of odd they just never mention him. He just kind of like, we know he's in the group, but it's like they didn't bring up his name and say, hey, where's Santana? Why isn't he part of this whole summit thing also? So, not sure where that's going, but like I said, I guess it's a temporary truce right now until I see one turns on the other, or mostly Sammy and whatnot, just to get at MJF. So we'll see what happens. Next, a helicopter appeared, and Kenny Omega, which I felt like this was taped, edited also, what the show was, but I kind of found it odd that, okay, it's supposed to be Kenny Omega and Don Callis stepping out of, helicopter, right? But the thing that got me about is that they did get out the helicopter, but it's like Kenny got out first, and it looked kind of edited where Don Callis got out of it. I don't even think he was in the helicopter. I think Kenny was, but I think they kind of edited it to make him look like he was getting out the helicopter, because they came in for their interview and talked about their match from last week with Jon Moxley. And, wondering if he's not here, which honestly, I'll say this right now. I think I said this last night. Jon Moxley will probably be back on New Japan by Friday. So they got to defend that U.S. title and whatnot. But the promo between Callis and Omega, basically it was almost the same thing from last night you heard on Impact, okay? It was a little bit different, but, Callis kind of went over the same thing like he did last night. Because they talk about it appeared on Impact, which is kind of funny. They're trying to make this whole thing as over-the-top extravagant as they can with these entrances. Like, okay, last night, Kenny Omega and them on a tour bus. Tonight, they're on a helicopter. What's next? Limo, plane? How else they gonna get here? Bungee jump? Not sure. But the promo here was basically the same thing. If you heard what they said last night, Callis kind of going in history and him being the invisible hand and making the Jericho versus Omega match in the Tokyo Dome and Wrestle Kingdom. How he's known for Kenny this long, and Kenny just kind of going over what he's done, hell freezing over, showing up on Impact. Just a lot on this, what he said from last night, being this, trophies, collector, belts, and what will Omega do next. So, yeah, it was kind of like the same promo they did on Impact last night. It really was. I can't really say it was that different. So it wasn't a bad promo. I like Callis more. Omega is just all over the place that I can barely keep up with him, and sometimes he kind of sounds like a goofball, which I'm trying to see him as the overconfident heel, but the guy is just all over the place and snap focus into a thing. And it's not even because he's a heel. It's just this has happened all the time. So he's just going all over the place while cutting his promo. I'd rather just hear more from Callis than hear from Omega. I said that last night also. So we'll see where this keeps going. But other than that, I know they went over to some schedule. What Snoop Dogg's going to be on commentary soon. In the main event, we did get that diamond ring on the line between MJF and Orange Cassidy. The Inner Circle was out there as the Best Friends came out. I think that Top Flight team and Brandon Cutler or something. Basically, this match went on. It turned into a big brawl in between Inner Circle and others. Miro came out and took down Orange Cassidy, which MJF basically got the pinfall on him. And then they showed the Best Friends brawling with Miro and Sabian, and security came out, and Miro's throwing everybody, as MJF talked about. He beat Orange Cassidy on his own clean. So, number one, basically, MJF got his little diamond ring back, so it's not like it didn't really mean that much anyway. He's only one holding it, so it's not like anybody different's holding it. So, hey, MJF won. He beat Orange Cassidy. So, he won this diamond ring. It's not really taken anywhere, but he won the diamond ring again. So, not seeing where that's going to go. I don't really care for the Best Friends, Miro, Sabian feud. I thought they were supposed to be planning a wedding. I don't know. I still think his gimmick is bad. Yes, I'm sure everybody says he's going to come out with some expensive Gucci shit, which he was wearing, it looked like. But it's not much I can say from that feud, okay? I don't really care. It's just a bad feud because it doesn't make sense anymore. Was this even over with those two teams? But they're still brawling, folks. Like I said, MJF getting the win, though. He already had the diamond ring, so it's not really much of a difference if you ask me. But other than that, though, AEW tonight was not a bad show. Not a lot of Impact mentions like it was last night. Well, the other way around. Impact mentioned AEW, but not a bad show. Of course, the biggest things to highlight was Sting going to talk and Shaquille O'Neal appearing on this show, okay? There's a couple good things here and there. Oh, I did miss one part. What was it, Abaddon or Discount Rosemary Sue Young? And trust me, I got friends that'll tell you she is just not good. She went against some girl and Sheeta came out for the save and kind of backing off from Abaddon, but dude, like I said, she is Discount Rosemary, Discount Sue Young, so she's not winning the title, okay? And it'd be kind of a dumb move they went with anyways, but this is just throwing bodies at Sheeta and whatnot, so it's not much I can say from this, okay? Discount Rosemary / Sue Young. But other than that, though, that is my review of AEW Dynamite. We'll see what happens in next week. I think the show is taped anyways. But, yeah, we'll see what happens to the show next week. Will they be on Impact next week? I don't know what's going to happen next week. But not all the way around, more mentions and whatnot. But we're going to see what happens, okay? We will see what happens. But other than that, though, AEW was okay. I'll say that. Not a bad show, especially when the fallout from winter is coming. But, like I said, the biggest thing is Sting and Shaquille O'Neal being on this show. But other than that, though, that is my review of this show. I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890 and check out the Urban Wrestling Network. That is me and other people online right now. So, other than that, I'm out. See you guys later. Peace.